if you're heading into retirement with nothing saved. Do these 5 things immediately to still build a secure future without panicking or making drastic sacrifices. I know what you're thinking right now. You're looking at your retirement accounts, or maybe the lack of them, and feeling that knot in your stomach. You're wondering how this happened, how time slipped away so fast, and whether it's even possible to fix this situation. Maybe you're lying awake at night running the numbers over and over in your head, and they just don't add up. I want you to take a deep breath right now, because I'm about to share something with you that might surprise you. You're not alone in this situation, and more importantly, it's not too late to turn things around. The strategies I'm sharing today aren't just theory. These are practical, actionable steps that real people in your exact situation have used to create stability and dignity in their retirement years. So let's get started with what you need to do right now. First and foremost, you need to delay claiming Social Security for as long as you possibly can. I know that seems counterintuitive when you feel like you need money now, but hear me out. Every single year you wait to claim Social Security beyond your full retirement age, your benefit increases by roughly 8%. That's not 8% total, that's 8% per year up until age 70. If your full retirement age benefit would be $2,000 a month, waiting until 70 could boost that to around $2,500 monthly. That's an extra $6,000 every single year for the rest of your life. Think about what that means. This isn't money you have to save or invest wisely or hope grows in the market. This is guaranteed income that's also protected against inflation. Let me tell you about someone I know named Margaret. She was in your exact shoes at 62, panicking about money, ready to claim Social Security immediately. Instead, she picked up a part-time job at a local library, 20 hours a week, just enough to cover her basic expenses. She waited until 67 to claim, and that decision gave her an extra $400 a month for life. Over 20 years of retirement, that's nearly $100,000 more. Your first step here is simple. Go to the Social Security website right now and create your account if you haven't already. Look at your estimated benefits at different claiming ages. See those numbers in black and white. Then ask yourself honestly, is there any way I can keep working even part-time to delay claiming? Because this single decision could be the difference between scraping by and living with dignity. The second crucial step is to get absolutely ruthless about your housing costs. For most retirees, housing is the single biggest expense, often eating up 30 to 50% of their income. If you're heading into retirement with no savings, you cannot afford to let housing consume half your Social Security check. Now, I'm not necessarily saying you have to move immediately, but you need to run the numbers with complete honesty. Can you realistically afford your current home on a fixed income? Let me be blunt about something. That house you raised your kids in, the one full of memories, might be the very thing that keeps you poor in retirement. I know that's hard to hear. Believe me, I understand the emotional attachment, but we're talking about your financial survival here. Consider this. If you're living in a 3-bedroom house that costs you $1,800 a month in mortgage or rent, plus utilities, maintenance, and property taxes, you might be spending $2,500 monthly just to keep a roof over your head. What if you downsized to a smaller place or moved to a lower cost area and got that number down to $1,200? You've just freed up over $15,000 a year. That's like having a part-time job without working a single hour. A gentleman named Robert did exactly this. He sold his home in a suburb of San Diego and moved to a smaller town in Nevada. His housing costs dropped by $1,400 monthly. Combined with his Social Security, he went from barely surviving to actually being able to save a little each month and enjoy small pleasures like taking his grandkids out for ice cream. Your action step is to spend this week researching housing costs in your area and in more affordable locations. Look at what a 1-bedroom apartment costs versus your current situation. Check out retirement communities that offer affordable options. I'm not saying you have to move tomorrow, but you need to know your options and be willing to make this change if the numbers demand it. Third, you absolutely must find a way to generate some income during at least the first few years of retirement. I know you're tired. I know you've been working for decades and you're ready to rest. But here's the reality. Those early retirement years when you're still healthy and energetic are your golden opportunity to build a small financial cushion that can make all the difference later. The beautiful thing is, this doesn't have to mean going back to a 40-hour-week grind. We're talking about strategic, flexible work that fits your life. Think about what you know, what you enjoy, what people already come to you for advice about. Maybe you spent 30 years as an office manager and you're brilliant at organization. There are small businesses everywhere everywhere that would pay you to help them get their systems in order. Maybe you're handy around the house. People will pay good money for someone reliable who can fix things, paint rooms, or do yard work. Maybe you love animals. Dog walking and pet sitting are booming industries where you set your own schedule. Consider someone like Linda, who retired from teaching with almost nothing saved. She started tutoring students 3 afternoons a week, charging $30 an hour. That's $360 a week, or about $1,500 a month. She did that for 4 years while delaying her Social Security, and in that time she built up a small emergency fund and made her retirement viable. Even earning an extra $1,000 a month for 3 to 5 years creates a buffer that changes everything. Here's what you do today. Make a list of 10 things you're good at or enjoy doing. Next to each one, write down who might pay for that service or skill, then reach out to just 3 people you know and let them know you're available for that kind of work. Word of mouth is incredibly powerful, especially in retirement communities where trust matters. The 4th thing you need to do, and this one's uncomfortable but critical, is to have honest conversations with your family about expectations. I'm talking about inheritance, financial help, and boundaries if you've been thinking you'll leave your kids a big inheritance. We need to address that right now. You can't give what you don't have, and your first obligation is to your own survival and dignity. Your kids would rather have a financially stable parent than an inheritance. Trust me on this. But more importantly, you need to make sure your adult children aren't expecting you to be their bank. If you've been helping them financially, giving them money for emergencies, co-signing loans, or planning to help with your grandkids' college, that has to stop immediately. It sounds harsh, but you cannot light yourself on fire to keep others warm. I know a woman named Dorothy who kept sending her son $500 a month to help with his rent well into her retirement because she felt guilty that she couldn't do more for him when he was younger. She was literally choosing between her medication and helping him. When she finally had an honest conversation and stopped the payments, it was hard for both of them, but within 6 months he'd figured out his own solution and their relationship actually improved because the resentment and stress were gone. On the flip side, if you think you might need help from your children at some point, it's better to have that conversation now rather than in a crisis. You're not asking them to solve your problems, but you're opening a dialogue about what mutual support might look like. Maybe your daughter has a basement apartment you could rent below market rate. Maybe your son can help with tech stuff that you're paying someone else to do. Sit down this week and write out your financial reality. Then schedule a conversation with your adult children where you're honest about where you stand. Make it clear what you can and cannot do for them financially, and open the door for them to share how they might be able to support you in non-financial ways as you age. The 5th and final thing you must do immediately is to cut every expense that doesn't directly contribute to your health, safety, or well-being. I'm talking about a complete financial audit where nothing is sacred. That cable package with 300 channels you watch 10 of, gone. Get a basic streaming service for $30 a month instead and save $100. That gym membership you haven't used in 3 months, canceled. Walk in your neighborhood instead. That daily coffee shop habit, that's $150 a month you're pouring down the drain. Make coffee at home. Now, I'm not saying you can't have any joy in your life. That's not sustainable, and it's not the point. But every single expense needs to justify itself. Does it make you healthier? Does it keep you safe? Does it bring you genuine joy and connection? If the answer is no, it goes. Here's what's interesting. When you actually track your spending for a month, most people find $300 to $500 in subscriptions, habits, and auto pay items they'd completely forgotten about. That's $4,000 to $6,000 a year you're giving away for nothing. A man named Thomas did this exercise and discovered he was spending $240 a month on things he didn't even remember signing up for. Subscription boxes, old streaming services, app subscriptions on his phone. In one afternoon of cancellations, he freed up nearly $3,000 a year. Your homework is to get your bank statements from the last 3 months. Go through every single charge with a highlighter. Green for essential, yellow for questionable, red for unnecessary. Then cancel every red item immediately. Call about the yellow ones and negotiate better rates, or cancel those too. This isn't about deprivation. This is about directing your limited resources toward what actually matters. Let me bring this all together for you. You started this video feeling scared, maybe even hopeless about heading into retirement with nothing saved. But now you have 5 concrete actions that can genuinely transform your situation. Delay Social Security to maximize your guaranteed lifetime income. Get your housing costs under control, even if that means downsizing or relocating. Generate some income in those early retirement years to build a cushion. Have honest conversations with family about money and expectations, and ruthlessly cut expenses that don't serve your well-being. None of these steps are easy, and I won't pretend they are, but they're all possible. And real people just like you have used these exact strategies to go from panic to stability. You're not behind everyone else. You're exactly where you are. And from this moment forward, you're taking control. If this video helped you, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Share it with someone else who's facing the same fear. And leave a comment below telling me which of these 5 steps you're going to tackle first. Remember, you've got this, and you're not alone in this journey. Small steps today lead to security tomorrow.